everyone, and welcome to another episode of Duke and Leon School of Life. I have the Big L with me.
Big L.
The Big L.
Freezing L. Fuck, it's cold. 4 degrees.
Listen, I want to run something by you, okay? I want to see this doctor. He's like the top-notch, supposedly top-notch doctor. And, actually, the lab, you know how they send us to a health check every year?
Do they? Oh, I don't go. I didn't get that memo.
I think you're beyond. I think they've just accepted. Anyway, they thought the professor was fudging my health check, so they were sending me to this other doctor. I had to fill out a form.
Yeah.
Right? Just before I could even see this guy.
Yeah.
So I fill out a form, and one of the first questions is, when was the last time you evacuated your bowel?
Evacuate.
And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, I put down.
Is that like a fire thing? A fire thing?
I put down 6 years old. And the doctor said to me, well, what's this? Last time you evacuated your bowel was 6 years old. And I said, yeah. And he goes, he just looks at me, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, explain? And I said, well, I was in the bath and I was playing toy soldiers and the soldiers wanted to explore the cave. And I said, so one soldier goes into the cave. Let's do a recon. One soldier goes into the cave. The second soldier goes into. There's about 4 soldiers in there. And then, like, as the 4th soldier's going in, my dad walks into the bathroom, and I just yell, "Evacuate! Evacuate!" That was the last time I evacuated my bowel.
That is so fucking disturbing. If I was a doctor, I would just be pressing that little red button on the phone going, security, security, please. That's fucking disturbing.
And then
oh, God.
Then while you're away, Gunter says to the people in the, to our bosses, I need some help. There is too much work. I cannot do it all on my own. So they give, Gunter convinces them to give him permission to hire someone. So he's hired a 90-year-old Chinese guy, Quan. A 90-year-old Chinese guy, Quan, and all I hear all day, they're arguing all day, all I hear is, you Dummkopf! You idiot! You Dummkopf! That's all I'm hearing all day.
Fucking hell. 3 minutes into the podcast and, God, you've dug that trench, haven't you?
Well, it's not my fault. Gunter hired him because...
God, you got the voices, you got your dad, I don't even know what the bath thing was. Fucking hell.
What's been happening with you?
Jesus. Well, I got to compose myself. All right. I've been very busy. As you know, I'm a great believer in women's rights. I'm always thinking about improving women's rights, especially in Australia. And middle of the night, couldn't sleep, tossing and turning. I'm just got this thing in my head. I'm thinking
women's rights in your head.
Yeah, I'm thinking. What if a woman was approaching that time of the month?
What time of the month?
The feminine hygiene time of the month, if you know what I mean.
Oh, so you're saying it's unhygienic. Yeah, you really are.
No, I'm not saying it's unhygienic. I'm just saying I'm thinking about a woman who's approaching that time in the month.
A period. Just say it.
A period. All right. There's a woman having a period, right? And she's in bed and it's dark, right? And she's fumbling and she's trying to find a tampon and she's fumbling and she grabs something and whoop, but it's not a tampon, it's a AA battery, right? Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how many times does that happen? It must happen all the time. Like women all over the world must be going into hospital going, oh my God, I've got a AA battery in my vagina. And I'm thinking, that's horrific. That is so horrific. It's so dangerous. It could kill Duke. So I'm thinking, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? So I started this
is this
campaign.
a new invention?
No. This is what
okay.
I've been doing.
Go on.
I have got a new invention as well.
This is why you haven't been going to fucking work.
I've been campaigning on behalf of women all over the world, right?
Our sisters, on behalf of our sisters.
Our sisters, to the consumer control, authorities, consumers, I think, and what I'm telling them to do all over the world is to write warning on battery packs, like Duracells and Kodaks and everything, and it says in big letters. Big red letters right across the top of the, the 6-pack or the 10-pack of AA batteries, right?
Yeah.
This is not a tampon, okay? That's what they have to write on the packaging, okay?
But if it's dark, how can they see that?
I didn't say it was perfect, Duke. I'm just saying I'm trying.
Glow in the dark.
Just trying.
They write it in
it's
glow
Braille.
in the dark.
No, it's Braille. Anyway, that's what I've been doing all week. Right.
Well,
this is not a tampon.
Some women might be doing that to get charged up.
No. I'm surprised you didn't just say that in a Chinese accent, just for double effect.
Oh, you want to be charged up? You need bigger than double A. I tell you, idiot.
I dropped my AA battery. Oh, you're lucky to have battery to drop. Anyway, so while you've been fantasizing about the bath, I've actually done something positive for women of the world, and in appreciation, they've been sending me AA batteries.
Well,
which then I on-sell to the Japanese.
And what do the Japanese say when they receive
Japanese men,
it?
They go, "Oh, stinky battery."
Wow.
Wow. We've mined the new depths of depravity.
All I did was I set up a little fucking mine in the ground, Doug, and you just jumped on it and went boom.
Boom, bang. That's Leon's career just gone out the window with half the furniture.
Speaking of that, remember we were talking about imaginary friends last week or the week before or fucking whatever. Anyway, my imaginary friend, Michael.
Yes. Yes.
And I remember because you got a letter. Someone asked Leon a couple of weeks ago, what was your first sexual experience? And that got me thinking about mine.
Oh, no.
Which was, there was a girl up the street named Margaret, right?
Yeah.
And we were boyfriend and girlfriend type thing.
Yeah.
And I was trying to, as you do when you're young and old, trying to get her pants off. And she was saying, no. She had an imaginary friend as well. Her imaginary friend is Sally.
Yes.
So
hold on. So when she said no, you stopped, obviously.
Of course.
Yes, good. I just want to establish that.
Of course. I didn't even really know
what no meant.
How to do it. If she would have said yes, I would have said, well, how am I going to do this
and there was
thing?
No Google in those days.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was,
Exactly. So, so she's got an imaginary friend, Sally, and she goes, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send Sally to your place at 7:30 and she can play doctors with Michael.
Oh, okay.
And I said, I'm like, really? Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Really disappointed. Anyway, by the time 7:30 comes, I'm suddenly really excited. And I'm like, hear this imaginary knock on the door and I open it up and Sally comes in and let me tell you, she was looking good. And I said to Michael, look, just stand next to the window when she comes in and just pose like, James Bond.
Yeah, that's good.
So she comes in, she's looking really good. And I just fucking push Michael out the window and close the window. And I'm like, and I had sex with Sally.
So you had sex with Margaret's imaginary friend, Sally, in your house. And Margaret wasn't there.
No, Margaret wasn't there. Neither was Michael.
No, Margaret was out the window. Yeah. But you could see him. You could see him in the garden, lying on the garden, because it was first floor, wasn't it?
Well, he was kind of crumpled,
face down, ass up on the grass.
And yeah, I'm telling you this story because this is what I told my psychologist. You know what my psychologist says to me?
What, next? Get this idiot out of the room.
She goes, have you ever heard of Scientology? I think that would be good for you.
Jesus Christ.
She wants me, I tell her that story, she wants me to join a cult.
No, I think she just wanted you to get the fuck out of her office. That's what I'm thinking, which is probably the best solution. Same with your doctor. Do you notice this happens to you quite a bit? Like people just get the fuck out of my office.
Yeah, get rid of me. They just fucking want to get rid of me. Your money's no good here.
your money's no good here. I love that. All right. So is that the end of the story, or is there a bit of a cleanup? Literally.
No, there's no. Well, that was my first sexual experience. Wow. I just thought I'd, having sex with my then girlfriend's imaginary friend.
Wow. And then Margaret dropped you for cheating on her.
She actually got jealous afterwards. I was telling her about it. She was going, she's going, oh, every time I tried to kiss her, I said, oh, why don't you go kiss Sally?
The other thing you sent me, the Amazon one was so Alexa, or whatever it is can change the voices, and you can have dead relatives.
That's right.
That's amazing. I was thinking,
can you imagine that?
Yeah. So the whole thing was like, oh, there's this little kid who misses his grandmother. He can't sleep or something. So they put the dead grandmother's voice into Alexa, and then it then uses the grandmother's voice to read. So basically, you say, oh, can you read this story in grandma's voice? And then it picks up grandma's voice and reads the whole story to the kid, and he falls asleep and, blah, blah, blah. But fuck, how weird is that?
Can you imagine, like, your dead wife's voice, and you've met someone new and you're in bed, and then all of a sudden you hear this voice, I fucking knew it. I'm not even buried yet, am I? I bet you I'm not even fucking buried.
It doesn't talk just like randomly. You have to say, oh, Alexa, I'm fucking my new wife. What would my old wife say? And then it's in the old wife's voice.
Oh, fair enough. Or your new wife would be talking to it and saying, like when you're not there, saying, has his penis always been that small? Oh, yeah, it's fucking tiny. How do you think I fucking died?
But
I died of boredom.
Anyway, what I was thinking was it must have a lot of legal ramifications too, because you could just get voice, like you could say, say you had a neighbor next door who you hated, and you got a sample of their voice, and then you got them to say, I hate Duke. You say, Alexa, can you read out the statement that I read to you 10 minutes ago or something, and then it reads out, I hate Duke so much, I want to kill him. I'm going to kill him. And then you go to the police and say, oh, look, I was talking to my neighbor, because you recorded it.
Yeah, and listen to what my clock radio's saying.
Listen to what my radio said. My neighbor said. My neighbor said this to me. And then they come in and they stormtroop the house and take the neighbor off, and he does 10 years in jail for
and then you go visit him in jail, and you give him a little Alexa thing. He presses a button, and it's his voice. His voice saying to him, sucked in, you shit, I set you up.
Oh, I thought that was really weird, because it's like there's so many, and then what if you use someone like a celebrity's voice, and then they found out that the whole time your Google Home or whatever it is speaking in their voice, and they say, well, you can't do that. That's my voice. That's my intellectual property. Oh, I don't know.
My intellectual property.
Yeah.
No, look, again, it's got all these fucking ramifications and, what could possibly go wrong? Can you imagine the disclaimers on the back of that? They'd have to give you a disclaimer. Like, it'd be as big as the Bible, the disclaimer book. Christ. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this.
Well, it's amazing because that's the sort of thing. I've been thinking in that vein all week because I stumbled across an FBI file, which is sort of a little bit like that, and then and I've been working on a new invention, which is sort of like just coincidentally is sort of like along those lines as well. But
what do you want to do? Do you want me to, FBI?
Yeah, let's do the FBI one because this one was interesting. Right. I was flicking through the filing cabinet, the dusty FBI filing cabinet, and I picked up this envelope. Sorry, manila folder, and this is an interesting one here. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Fine.
What else you got to do?
What else am I doing? From the FBI files. And for all our listeners out there, you have to remember that we are not in the same room as some of the listeners have suggested. We're like about, 30 Ks away, 40 Ks away?
10,000, I would have thought. 10,000 Ks away.
You wish.
Sometimes it feels like. All right, FBI file. In 1958, postal worker Melvin Sleznik was in the sitting room of the house he shared with his mother, Morag Sleznik. His mother, who was profoundly deaf, was adding cloth patches to a large quilt she was making depicting the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Suddenly...
Which Gunter was there for.
Suddenly... Yes, he was. Suddenly the radio came to life, broadcasting a message repeatedly for 25 minutes. Realising the message contained directions, Melvin wrote them down. After he put his mother to bed, Melvin took his mother's old car and followed the directions. He discovered they led to a stash of Nazi gold which had been smuggled out of Germany in 1945. Melvin piled the gold into his mother's car and was never seen again. Wow. What do you think?
What do I think?
It's got a good ending, though. I mean, he's, postal worker living with his mother. Ugh.
Yeah, it's like a James Bond film.
Wow, it's... I'm not sure.
What do you think?
More importantly, well, I mean, scary. Imagine living with your mother and I don't know, and then just one, and then. But the thing is that it just comes on the radio. Like, he doesn't touch the radio. I'm assuming it just comes on like out of the blue. So. It's sort of supernatural, which I'm not a great fan of, but I don't know. I want to believe it's true because it's a good ending. I think Melvin, he deserves to be rich and happy, and
Maybe his mum set it up. Maybe she just wanted him out of the house. She had some Nazi gold because she was a Nazi, or his dad was a Nazi, and that wasn't a radio; it was a tape recorder. Well, she put a tape recorder behind the radio and turned it on, and he just hears all these directions. Yeah. And she's hoping, I hope this idiot can fucking find it.
Yeah.
And then he finds it, and then he fucking takes off, and she's gone, bang, it works.
Good, got rid of him.
But that's the only explanation I can come up with.
But you think it'd be pretty funny, wouldn't it? Because what would you do with the gold? How would you cash it in? I mean, you can't just go to a jewelry guy with a bar with a fucking swastika on it and go, can I cash this in?
In 1958, you could. In 1958, you could.
What's his swastika? I don't know. No, it's not a swastika. It's it's a Buddhist thing. What the fuck?
But that reminds me, I read it a couple of weeks ago somewhere in Eastern Europe. This guy, his grandfather had died, or his father had died, and he buried all his gold.
Yeah.
And did you read about that?
No.
And he buried all this gold. His father had buried all this gold and jewelry somewhere.
Yeah.
And this guy goes, it's a big story in fucking wherever, and he goes on the news and he tells the story and he says, I want like professional treasure hunters to come and help me.
Yeah.
And then the next day they go to the spot, the whole spot's been dug up and all the gold's gone because he went on national TV and just a swarm of people went.
Yeah. Well, I did hear about that that guy a few years ago. I don't know, but a couple of people had died trying to find it. This one is he went on national TV and everyone saw it and they just went because it's a small little town. They dug up the whole place. They found it. And they took off. Yeah.
Idiot. From the FBI files.
Yeah. Well, gold's interesting because you actually can bury it. There's a lot of things you can't, like money. People used to bury money and stuff like. It's very hard. Well, now it's plastic.
Gold,
now it's plastic.
Gold is from outer space.
No, I don't think it is.
It is. It's not. No, it is. No. It actually is. All right, look it up, people.
Look it up. It's interesting because now it's like about $1,800 an ounce or something like that. But I remember when we were kids, it was like $200, maybe $100 an ounce or something like that.
$10 an ounce.
$10 an ounce. $10 an ounce.
It was cheaper than pot.
Yeah. And people used to buy the little 10-ounce bars and put them in their freezer and stuff like that. You could buy it and then you could just trade it. It was never tracked. Now it's all tracked. You can't do fucking anything, because of money laundering. The fucking feds fuck everything up. They fuck everything up.
Anyway,
my mate used to go out with this prostitute, and he said to me, they started living together, and he goes in, opens the freezer, and it's fucking full of gold. The freezer's full of gold, and she's like, "Oh yeah, well, that's my thing. That's my bank."
That reminds me of a story. One of my mates was saying when he was young, he was living with a stripper, just housemates. They were just housemates. And she used to, walk around in a G-string and her undies, and she's beautiful. He said she's beautiful. And then one day, her dad comes to visit.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there, and he's having a beer with her dad. He doesn't want to. He just wants to get out of there. Her dad's like, oh, yeah, mate, yeah. He's like this. And she walks out to get ready to do something, and she's in her G-string, and her dad looks at him and goes, I bet you'd like a bit of that, wouldn't you?
Oh, no. That's horrible.
That's a dad.
That's horrible. Yeah.
Now, I'm no psychiatrist.
I know you're not. I can vouch for that.
But
yeah, I know that's.
I can see some psychological connections to dad like that and stripper.
Oh. Well, when we had that shop together, the guy who owned it, that idiot who owned it, he was, I don't know, he was just a real weird guy, but, he was sort of nice, and then he wanted to be, I don't know, he was weird. And then his daughter was gorgeous. And one day he said to me, I don't know what we were talking about, but there was a pub in, where was it? Up Northern Beaches. I can't remember which one it was. It was a really big pub. Now it's all different. But they used to have bikini competition where they put all the tables were made into a runway.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Sorry, yeah, and she was gorgeous. Yeah.
And all these guys with schooners and they'd have this bikini competition, and they'd walk up and down there, and all these guys would be going like that. And he said to me, he said, "Oh yeah," he said, "I'm really happy. Last week I was Newport Arms. That's right, the place was the Newport Arms." He goes, I'm really happy. My daughter, she came second in the bikini competition at the Newport Arms," and I'm going. What?
And she was only like fucking 15 or something, wasn't she?
Yeah, it was like...
Or 16
I'm going, what? And it was like she'd won the Eurovision Song Contest. You know, even that's horrific. But like, it's like I'm going, really?
Proud.
Have you seen the crowd? Because I had it on TV once. I never went, but I saw it on TV, and they're all, it's like a wet T-shirt competition sort of vibe. Fucking idiot.
I know, disgusting. I remember that. Yeah,
disgusting, same thing with us. Yeah, I know. It's just horrific, isn't it? I mean, basically it comes down to the fact that any idiot can have a child. I mean, any idiot can have children. That's what I always thought. And boy, just some idiots have them, I tell you. All right. Invention. Or did you want to do something first? Have you got something?
No.
No, you got nothing.
I've got nothing.
You got nothing. Fucking hell, I'm pulling the cart here today. Let me tell you. All right, invention.
Presenting New Inventions with Duke and Leon.
So I've been working on this for 4, 5, 6 hours, right? No, all week actually. I was talking to an old bloke, and his wife made him buy a new car. He didn't want to buy a new car. He liked his old car, but she said, no, you have to buy a new car because the neighbours and blah, 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 fuck it. Anyway, so he buys
the neighbours.
Neighbours, our neighbours have got a new car, or you got to have a new car. Don't have that old fucking car, you cunt. Anyway, so he goes, I got this car, and I was standing next to him, he's coming out of the car. And he said, it fucking just doesn't stop talking to me. I say, what do you mean? He said, every fucking time, do this, do that. How it even says hello to me when I put the key in the ignition. I said, I just wanted to shut the fuck up. And I said, so I Googled it, and I said, well, and this is true for all these new cars. So it's got all these functions that you can disable, right? Mm. And there's like 6 buttons of all the different things that you can disable, and it gets rid of the voice. So it stops talking to you. But here's the twist, right? This is the twist. When you turn the car off at night, and in the morning you come back on, it goes back to the default setting where everything's on, right? So every time you get in your car to go somewhere, you've got to deactivate all these switches, right?
Fucking hell.
And I found out why. It's because, they have this safety rating, and the safety rating is that those functions are built into the car. They come on every time. So it's so safe because it tells you, there's a car next to you. Oh, it's going to rain. Oh, you're looking beautiful today. Oh, how are you? Why don't you talk to me? Is it something I said? All this shit. You just want to fucking drive the car, right? Anyway, I said to him, don't worry. Leon's on the job, right? So I invented this thing, right? And it's a device with one button, and it's called Shut the Fuck Up, right? It's a little device. It's about the size of a I don't know, it's smaller than the palm of your hand. It's very small. You can almost stick it on your keyring. Actually, you could stick it on a keyring. I should put a keyring on it. That's a good idea. I'll write that down.
That's good.
Yeah. And anyway, you press a button, and it just shut everything. They just shut the fuck up. See, I've done it. So and it's universal. It works on all machines and everything. And
well, no, forget the fucking cars. Forget the fucking machines.
No.
You have this shut the fuck up thing.
Yeah.
For the public, for when you're walking around in public.
No, it doesn't work on humans. It only works on machines.
But it just says shut the fuck up. It just goes shut the fuck up.
No, that's offensive, and that's why. And that's why. That's why I take you shopping. With me. That's your job.
So when you're going shopping and the old lady next to you is going, should I buy this? Should I buy that? And you're stuck with your cart behind her trying to get through. And she goes, this one's a bit cheaper. You just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, well, that was funny because yesterday I got into this tram, and the trams are so packed because it's just fucked. Where I live is fucked. Anyway, and there's this little fucking woman with a little pinhead. You know how some of those women have little pinheads, sort of really small at the top, and she's got this beanie on, and she's really small. And she goes, you're not getting into the tram, are you? Like this. Okay.
To you?
Yeah. And I thought, oh, no, I'm just going to stand on the fucking platform for 4 hours because that's what I do, you cunt. And I didn't need that machine because I just punched her in the face and she shut the fuck up. See? So,
well, that's good.
See,
that's good.
But anyway,
but
it didn't go down too well. I know. It's like, she's only old. She's old. You have more respect for elderly people. I said, well, I didn't punch her hard. I didn't punch her hard. I pulled back a bit. Anyway, so back to my device. So, and I go and visit my mother regularly, not by choice. And someone gave her Google Home. And she thinks it's like this little woman in the little box that she can just talk to. She goes to me, I hope I'm not talking to her too much. And I'm like, fuck, yeah, all right. So anyway, so I'm trying to have a conversation with her, trying to, sort out all her medical issues. And she goes, hi, Google, what's the capital of Afghanistan? Like, fucking hell, who gives a fuck? And then so I just press it. And it goes, well, thank you for asking. The capital of... Shut the fuck up! Bang, gone. Oh, what happened to Google? Oh, no, she's on a break. She's on a lunch break, Mum. She's on a lunch break.
That'd be good for TV too, like when you're watching the fucking football. When you're watching the football and those annoying commentators with their bad dad jokes.
Or,
every time a guy's pants gets pulled down, which happens a lot in rugby league, the moon's out tonight. Shut the fuck up!
Presenting New Inventions with Duke and Leon.
That's always
let's see what happened.
let's see what happens. That's what my doctor says.
Yeah.
The doctor that never washes his hands.
Oh my God!
Fuck me. Doesn't he wear gloves?
Tell him that story.
What?
Tell him that story.
No, I'm not telling that story. It disturbs me too much. Anyway,
look, I've got word of the week.
All right.
This one has 3 meanings. Okay?
Fuck.
So the word of the week is cunt-tagious. It's cunt-tagious.
Get it.
It's got 3 meanings, right?
Yes.
So it's got the meaning of, how it, like, I guess it happened more when you were younger. You had a mate who had a mate who was a cunt, but when they got together, your mate turned into a cunt too.
Yeah.
So that mate was cunt-tagious.
Yeah. It's definitely remember that.
Yeah. Second one is the cunt that's got the fucking flu or COVID that's hopping on the tram without the mask, sneezing everywhere. He's cunt-tagious.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
And the third one is when you meet a girl with a beautiful pussy and you just can't get enough of it.
Oh.
Cunt-tagious.
Really? That was almost poetic. The way you said that was poetic.
Yeah, I was thinking of someone.
Oh, now I'm thinking of her as well. It is contagious. God's sake.
All right. Time for before we do Ask Leon, I had this memory of the good old days. Really, this is just a great memory. I just love,
I have them too, but I always end up crying myself to sleep. But anyway, it's good.
So, just the good old days when everything was simple, life was simple. And I was thinking about when we were kids. And that time when you ran away from home and you were living in the back of the old prostitute's car. And we'd all just be like me and Jed and everyone else and be going, hey, Leon, we want a Mars bar and Coke. Get in there. And you'd have to go into the back of the car and Leon. And you'd be crying, I just want to go and Coke. And then she'd do whatever she had to do. You'd do whatever you had and you'd come out with the money. Yeah, they were good times.
Jesus.
That were good times. We'd all go to the shop and get a Mars bar.
That doesn't sound simple at all. That sounds very complicated. It's no wonder
That's what you said.
No wonder I'm so fucked up.
She goes, can you go again, Leon? And you're like, yes, ma'am.
Oh, Jesus. What car was it? Hope it was a station wagon at least.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Thank God. All right. Ask Leon.
Oh, yes.
Ask Leon now, ask Leon now. Ask Leon now, ask Leon now.
Okay. We have a letter from... It's not a letter. It's actually Ask Leon, from a guy named Rip Armstrong.
Rip Armstrong
in the States.
Oh, right.
And he asks Leon, "Do you believe in heaven and hell?"
Not in the spiritual sense, but metaphorically, yes. Heaven, twins in a spa tub and beer. Hell would be any wedding.
Sex with your wife.
Oh, any wedding that I would have to be forced to go to. That would be hell. Okay.
I remember Sven told me what his uncle told him when he was like 5, what hell was like. And he said, he said, it's like you want to piss and you want to shit constantly, but you've got no genitals to do it.
God. So
that's he told Sven that when he was 5.
That's an uncle.
No wonder Sven's fucked up.
Fucking hell. I thought the prostitute thing was disturbing. And the bathtub thing was disturbing. That's worse.
I think his uncle was a client of that prostitute.
Because you look up to your old relatives, you know, that's horrific. Fuck me dead. I know. And that's so true for so many people. Fucking some old cunt in the family tells you something like that. It's just like horrific. Anyway, all right, next one.
All right, we've got one more. We've got one more. This is from... Oh, I can't even read that. This is from someone Kurosawa in Japan.
My Japanese friends.
Yes. And he says, "Dear Leon."
Jesus.
He says, "Dear Leon, on your OnlyFans site, will you please eat hot dog and let mustard drip on feet?" Again? And I don't know.
I have to do it again.
You've got an OnlyFans site.
Hey, I did that ages ago. Fucking hell. All right, yes, I can do it again. I will do it again. All right, and and I do love hot dogs.
Ask Leon now. Ask Leon now. Ask Leon now. Ask Leon now.
Anyway,
all right. Thinking of the good old days.
All right, quick, because we've got to go. I've got to go and be Sting. The day's running out.
Thinking of the good old days again.
Yeah.
I remember being at school and the teacher saying, "Okay, what are some of the nicknames your dad gives you?" And he's saying he points to one kid and one kid goes, "Oh, my dad calls me Rabbit because I'm really fast." And
I know, I can see this. I'm sitting on the train and there's no bridge and we're going really fast.
And he asks another kid, he goes, what does your dad call you? And he goes, "Oh, my dad calls me Jumper because I'm good at basketball." And then he says to me, "What does your dad call you?" And I go, "Oh, fuck, I don't know. My dad's never given me a nickname." So I go home that night.
Yeah.
My dad's reading the form guide.
Yeah.
He's got the races on.
Yeah.
And I say, "Dad, how come you haven't never given me a nickname?" And he goes, "Oh, shut up, you fucking stupid goat."
Stupid.
So I went to school the next day and I said, "Oh, my dad gave me a nickname." The teacher said, "What?" And I said, "Fucking stupid goat."
Oh, God. Jesus.
And the teacher looked at me. He looked really sad. I was really happy. I was like, "Fuck, I got a nickname." And he sort of looked like he had tears in his eyes.
God, what a way to end the show. Thank you for that. For all of those who weren't depressed before, now you're fucking depressed, aren't you? Good luck with the meds. All right.
Listen, buddy.
Thank you all.
Listen, buddy, you can don't fuck around with the fucking stupid goat, all right? All right, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
gold has always meant richness and value. Today, Benson & Hedges Special Filter comes in a handsome gold packet. Benson & Hedges Special Filter is the right cigarette when only the best will do. And isn't that all the time?
Duke and Leon.